as a concept, as an ideology, in itself is not a congress or conference. It's a movement. It's an era, we're saying, that probably defined over the next 30 to 40 years, and we will be measured by history. This Congress, this particular event, is enabling government and the private sector to talk. We would like to see more participation from the public sector, from government. The physical manifestation, tangible benefits since the last Civilution Congress is, for example, the compilation of the new standards by Treasury, where we separate procurement of goods and services, or goods, and we separate that from professional services and engineering. We've been actively engaged over these last 2 years, and we've done something that the industry can benefit from. There's also a reorganizing of the voluntary associations, where we could participate effectively in professional registration. But all of this is under the banner of Civilution. It instigated the discussions for tangible output. I've just given you two. The one is the standards from Treasury, and the other one is the voluntary associations positioning themselves for professional accreditation of individuals. And that's simply saying that non-engineers may not participate in engineering work for the sake of public safety. So I'd like to think that we're achieving on both ends, the hard issues as well as the tangible benefits.
Growing engineers out of a very narrowly defined role into a much broader role, what one of our panelists referred to as being a well-rounded engineer, the engineer that can take on multiple challenges in multiple fields. So that was a key theme that we explored in the session. And related to that was this requirement to find 30,000 engineers as we go into the future to give effect to South Africa's National Development Plan. So really what was raised was there was a challenge laid by Nazir Ali, basically saying that we had this massive public debate around the e-tolls. Where was SAICI in that debate? And one of the panelists, or at least one of the people in the audience, says SAICI really needs to find a way of becoming iconic by making a stand, taking a stand on a particular issue. So that was one of the issues. And then dealing with this issue of the shortage of engineers, we actually had contradictory messages, because we hear that there are hundreds of graduate engineers that can't get jobs. So why do we have hundreds of graduate engineers that can't get jobs, and we have a massive demand for engineers? Why is there that impasse? And really what we're talking about is we're talking about the need for development programs that are going to take newly graduated engineers, give them the experience, give them the grounding, the well-roundedness that they need, and then move them into a position where they can fulfill that Civilution expectation as a professional engineer.
The value that we bring to South Africa is really around two centers. The first one is centered around changing the dynamic in which we participate. It's a heart issue. How do we get engineers to respond to the call of government in terms of the National Development Plan, and how we can participate in that in a collaborative fashion to start rebuilding trust between the two, public sector and private sector. The second center is around technical competence. And the engineer's revolution, we say, is with a pen. We need to be innovative again and to start participating in solution providing again. And infrastructure delivery. All of this manifests in infrastructure delivery. So the first one is on hasn't been a meeting place between the engineers and the public sector. In fact, there's been a shortage or a lack of ability to attract engineers into the public sector for various reasons. So the invitation to the public sector is to start engaging with us. When we write letters, respond to them. When we send out invitations to come and address the engineers, respond to them. When we've got possible solutions on systems and structures and attracting engineers into the public sector, respond to that. So the invitation is, let's engage.